September is National Recovery Month, so it is an important time for us to pause and talk about all the different ways you can get help, or somebody in your life who you love who is struggling. Between 2019 and 2020, opioid overdose deaths here in South Carolina increased by 60%, a stunning number. But our friends at LRADAC are always working around the clock to make sure help options are out there to those who need it. So happy to have Jennifer Weller-White with us from LRADAC. And Jennifer, first question, does that number, 60% increase in opioid deaths in our state, surprise you?
You know, Andrea, it doesn't surprise me, but it does definitely scare me, which I'm sure it does for most people who hear that number.
And tell me this, because I feel as though it might be a lot of misconceptions when it becomes, comes to opioid abuse. What does opioid abuse look like?
Oh my gosh, it can look like a number of things. And the first thing I always want to stress to people is it may look a lot different than you think. The second that we start thinking to ourselves, not in my community, not in my school, not in my home, that's when we really start missing things. Most opioids that people have access to are prescription opioids. And so that really gives us a false sense of safety, thinking, oh, if I'm taking something that's prescribed to me or something that would be prescribed to someone else, then that must mean that it's safe for me to do. And we know that's often not the case.
It's so true. And when it comes to drugs or alcohol, you and I were talking a bit earlier, and you said that it's often shame that keeps people from coming in and getting help. That breaks my heart. What can you say to our viewers watching right now to let them know that it's okay and there's support out there for them if they want to get help?
You know, what we know about the disease of addiction is that it knows no bounds when it comes to socioeconomic status or race or anything like that. So really, anyone can be susceptible to developing problematic behaviors with substance use.
Here's the amazing thing. In Lexington and Richland County, there's not a lot of red tape in order to get help from LRADAC. Talk about that amazing walk-in clinic that y'all have that you offer to anybody who needs you.
Yeah. What is really amazing is that you can access services from LRADAC. You don't have to pay anything up front. You'll never be turned away for an inability to pay. You can walk in Monday through Thursday between the hours of 8:30 and 3 p.m. and get access to meet with a clinical counselor to go ahead and be evaluated to see if treatment is a good option for you and what options we actually have. Another thing that's really important and amazing that we have right here in the Midlands is that we do medication-assisted recovery. So if there are going to be some medications that are going to help people from decreasing their risk of overdose, decreasing their risk of chronic recurrences and use, we're able to help connect them to medication, oftentimes same day. So that way we can go ahead and get them in and get them started on their journey to recovery. And an even more amazing thing is that we are a community provider of Narcan and fentanyl test kits. So anyone, whether you are a substance user yourself or you're just worried about someone in your community, in your home, you can walk into either of our locations and get free Narcan, which we know is one of those really great things that keeps people in our community alive.
It is National Recovery Month. We hope to get more people here in South Carolina in recovery. Thank you to LRADAC and to Jennifer for everything you guys have done to help folks in our community.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us.